Hello viewers, yes, this is Ranjana ma'am and you are watching my channel as well as yours. And as promised, I had told you that I will complete Macbeth soon. So this is Act 5 Scene 9, the last scene. Macbeth is already dead. He has been slain by Macduff in Act 5 Scene 8. So only the last scene remains. So let's start. What are we waiting for? But don't forget to give this like and please subscribe to my channel. So scene 9, only a little bit of summing up. The war has been lost. Macbeth has lost the war. And it is now the time for the rightful heir to ascend the throne. The rightful heir, Duncan's eldest son, Malcolm. Within the castle, so whatever happens, the scene takes place inside the castle. Retreat, flourish, enter with drum and colours. Malcolm, old Seward, Ross, Thanes and soldiers. Because in the side of Macbeth there was no heavy weight. Only Macbeth was fighting with his soldiers. And that also he had hired them from this place and that place and they had really no loyalty. They were all fighting half-heartedly. They were fighting because they were being paid. So Macbeth lost the war and was killed. And here Malcolm comes as the winner. And beside him there is Ross, old Seward. Old Seward has lost his son. Malcolm, I would the friends we miss were safe arrived. So Malcolm wishes that the friends who are not with him at this moment, who are missing, so he just hopes that they are safe and they come and join us. Seward, some must go off, yet by these I see so great day as this is cheaply bought. So Seward seems to be a practical person and he says that some will have to die. Yeah, it's a battle, it's not a joke. So some will have to die. He doesn't know yet that his son is dead. But he accepts the fact that not all will be alive, some will have to die. But looking at the number of people who are still with us, we have won it at by not paying a very heavy price. That means we haven't really paid a very heavy price for such an event. They have won the war but with not much casualty. Malcolm, Macduff is missing and your noble son. So Macduff is at this moment, he has fought the battle against Macbeth. So he has not joined these. So Malcolm notices that Macduff has not yet come and he tells old Seward that his son is also missing. Ross, your son my lord has paid a soldier's debt. So Ross is aware of the death of young Seward and he tells old Seward that my lord, your son, he has paid a soldier's debt. That means he has died died as befits a soldier. He has died like a soldier, true soldier. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died. So young Seward, he died very young. So Ross is talking about that. That means he only lived as long as he could reach his manhood to fight like a man. He had barely reached his manhood. And as soon as he got his manhood, he fought at a place without any fear and died like a man. So he died a manly death. Then, is he dead? So old Seward asks, is he dead? Because Ross says he died a soldier's death. So that means he is dead. Ay, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end. So Ross affirms that yes, your son has died and his body has been taken away from the field. So your sadness should not be measured in terms of his good qualities, his virtues, because then your grief will have no end. That means your son was such a virtuous person, so we cannot measure your sadness in that context, because then your grief should have no end, because that through this, what is he trying to tell? That means your son was a very virtuous person. Had he his hurts before? So Seward wants to know if his injuries or wounds were in his front portion of his body. If it is at the back, that means you have been attacked when you are trying to run away. And if it is in front, the wounds are in front, that means you are facing your enemy and you die. When you face your enemy bravely, face to face encounter and die, the wounds will be in the front part of your body. And back wounds mean you are trying to flee from your enemy and then you have been killed. So always mothers also told that come back with wounds in front. Earlier when mothers would dress up their young sons for the battle, the Rajput mothers, and she would tell that if you die also, come back with wounds on your front, not on your back. So that is what he is also asking. A, on the front. So Ross affirms, yes, his wounds were on the front part of his body. Seward, why then? God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them a fairer death. And so his knell is gnawed. He is worth more sorrow. So Seward then says that yes, now may he become a soldier of God, because he will go to heaven. Fighting in the war, when you die, you go to heaven. So now let him be one of God's soldiers. So those who fought in the battle during the Crusades, God's soldiers. And then he says, if I had as many sons as I have hair on my head, I would not have wished them a better death. That means this is the best death he could have asked for. So if I had as many hairs on my head, if I had as many sons as I have hairs in my head, I would not have wished them a better death. That means he is ready to sacrifice all his sons for a noble cause. So his knell is gnawed. Yes, that means his death has been announced. Knell is the death bell that is rung when someone dies in the parish. He is worth more sorrow. This is what Malcolm says. He is worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him. So Malcolm says that he deserves greater mourning. Here Seward and Ross, they are only mourning. So he says your son deserves greater mourning, and I will do whatever should be done for that. I will arrange everything. He is worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score. So God be with him. Here comes newer comfort. So Seward says he cannot have any more praises than he has got, than he has received. Everyone says that he died bravely and that he has done his duty. As a soldier, he has done his duty. And so may God give him peace. And then he notices someone coming and he says that here comes some good news, some good comfort. Why? Because he sees Macduff coming with the head of Macbeth. Macbeth's head has been severed from his body, and holding the head by the hair, Macduff comes and offers it to Malcolm. Macduff, hail king, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutations in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. So, Macduff is the first one to hail Malcolm as the king. So he greets Malcolm as the king. So accept my greetings, O king, because that is what you are now. In the death of Macbeth, automatically Malcolm gets back his throne. He was the legal heir to the throne, but it had been usurped by Macbeth, who had killed his father. So in the death of Macbeth, Malcolm automatically becomes the king, and that is why Macduff greets Malcolm with the title of the king. And then he shows the head of Macbeth and says, yes, so he has been holding the head of Macbeth with his spear. So see, the usurper's head is how it is hung on the point of my spear. Time is free. That means the people of Scotland have got their freedom. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearls. So I see you surrounded by the great men of the country, and even they are echoing whatever I say. They are echoing my greeting. That means they are echoing my greeting in their minds. So he wishes them to speak this aloud. He understands that they all agree with him when he hails Malcolm as the king. The ones who are surrounding, like Ross, Seward and the others. So he says, I understand that they are also echoing what I am saying. I am greeting you as the king, and they are also echoing this in their mind, and I wish them to speak it aloud. Hail, King of Scotland. So he greets Malcolm as the King of Scotland. All, hail, King of Scotland. So this is what he had wanted from the nobles who had surrounded Malcolm, that all of you speak what you have it in your mind. You all are all supporting me. Whatever I say, you are echoing it in your mind, but speak it out. So they do. They hail Macbeth. They hail Malcolm. They greet Malcolm as the King of Scotland. Malcolm. So this is the final speech of Malcolm, which ends this drama. We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. So at this time, he is indebted to these people, the lords and all who have supported him in his time of crisis and given him strength, given him courage to fight the tyrant. So he says that we will not spend a long time before we reward you for your services and make ourselves even with you. That means at this moment I am indebted to you, but by rewarding you I will become on even terms with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. So my friends and kinsmen means relatives. So he wishes them, or rather greets them, with the title of Earl. So before this, Earl title was never used in Scotland, it was in England. In Scotland it was Thanes, but these Thanes have been promoted to the position of Earls. Earls enjoy more power than Thane. Macbeth was the Thane of Cawdor and Thane of Glamis, and by killing the king he had become the king. But in Scotland before this, the Earl title had not been given. Malcolm was the first one to honour his Thanes with the title of Earls. The first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen. So what is remaining? He has promised, or rather he assures that he will promote them to the position of Earls, the first ever title in Scotland. The Earls, this title, Malcolm is the first one, but now something more is remaining. What? Those friends or those well-wishers of Malcolm who were opposed to Macbeth and had left Scotland, had run away from Scotland, escaping the watchful tyrannies of he and his ministers. Because Macbeth and his wicked officials, they were always trying to figure out who is not happy with Macbeth and kill him. But there were many who could not join hands with Macbeth, and they had tried their best, and many had been successful in running away from Scotland. So their first job would be to bring these people back, and even Malcolm's brother Donalbain has run away to Ireland, and he also needs to be brought back. So they had run away from the watchful eyes of Macbeth's cruel ministers. So he will also punish the ones who had served the butcher. Those who had served Macbeth loyally, they will be punished. Why? Because they were the instruments of Macbeth, unleashing cruelty on Scotland. So he needs to take these people to terms. Of this, the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, devil-like queen, who, as it is thought, by self and violent hands took off her life. So he has also got the news that Lady Macbeth had committed suicide. So, who, as it is thought, by self and violent hands, that means with her own violent hands, had taken her own life. And what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of God we will perform in measure. So whatever things that demand our attention, we will try to do it with the help of God. We will perform in measure, time and place. So we will be doing it at the proper time and place. Whatever work remains to be done, with the help of God, we will do it at the right time and right place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one we invite to see us crowned at Scone. So he thanks all the lords who have supported him in his battle for the throne. So he thanks each of them and also invites them to attend his coronation ceremony, which will be taking place at Scone. So this is where Macbeth comes to an end. Rather, Macbeth has already, his life has ended, but the drama Macbeth comes to an end. So it's one of the greatest tragedies written by Shakespeare, and quite a lengthy one. Most of the dramas are of 5 acts. So finally this has the longest number of scenes, Act 5, Scene 9. So anyway, I am sure I have explained it to you in a very simple, or rather a very lucid manner. So bye for the time being, go through it, and if you have any questions, you are free to ask me in your comment section.